There are three words destroying your financial future. You say them every single day. You don't even notice. They slip out automatically like breathing. And every time you say them, you're programming your brain to reject wealth. You're literally coding poverty into your subconscious. These three words are keeping you broke, and you don't even know it. The wealthy never say these words, not because they learn to avoid them, because their brains are wired differently. Their mental software automatically filters out these poverty phrases before they ever reach their lips. Three words destroying wealth. And here's what's terrifying. You probably heard these words from your parents, your teachers, your friends. Everyone around you was infected with this mental virus, and now you're infected too. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose each of these wealth-destroying phrases. I'm going to show you the psychology behind why they keep you poor, and I'm going to give you the exact replacement phrases that millionaires use instead. But be warned, once you hear this, you can't unhear it. You'll start catching yourself. You'll hear these words everywhere. And that awareness is the first step to deleting your poverty programming. Word 1 exposed. The first word is so common you probably said it this morning. Maybe you said it in the last hour. The word is can't. I can't afford that. I can't save money. I can't invest right now. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. This isn't just positive thinking nonsense. Neuroscience has proven that when you say can't, your brain literally stops looking for solutions. The reticular activating system in your brainstem, the filter that decides what information reaches your conscious mind, it shuts down pathways to opportunity. Shut down. A study at Stanford showed that people who used can't language had 40% less activity in problem-solving brain regions compared to those who used alternative phrases. 40%. That means almost half your financial intelligence goes offline every time you say that word. Rich people don't say, "I can't afford that." They ask a different question. A question that forces their brain to work instead of giving up. Force your brain to work. But before I tell you what that replacement phrase is, you need to understand the second poverty word. Because these three work together as a system. The blame word. The second word is even more insidious. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like you're just being honest about your situation. The word is, they don't pay me enough. They won't give me a promotion. They rigged the system against people like me. Every time you say they, you give away your power. You're telling your subconscious that someone else controls your financial destiny. You're programming yourself to be a victim. And victims don't build wealth. They wait to be rescued. Psychologist Julian Rotter called this external locus of control. His research spanning 4 decades found that people with external locus of control earned significantly less money, saved less, and were more likely to stay in poverty across generations. The moment you blame someone else, you lose all power to change. The wealthy have internal locus of control. They believe they create their results. Even when external circumstances are difficult, they focus on what they can control. If this is hitting close to home, if you're recognizing this pattern in yourself, hit like and subscribe to reprogram more of your money blocks, because the third word is the one that locks the other two in place. The killer word. The third word is the most dangerous of all because it feels positive. It feels like you have a plan. The word is someday. Someday I'll start investing. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll get my finances together. One day or day one, you decide. Someday is a death sentence for your dreams. It's the word your brain uses to trick you into feeling productive while doing absolutely nothing. Behavioral economists call this the planning fallacy. We overestimate what we'll do in the future because imagining success activates the same reward centers as actually achieving it. Your brain gets the dopamine hit from planning without the discomfort of action. And here's the brutal truth. Someday never comes. Never. Studies show that goals without specific deadlines have a 92% failure rate. 92%. Someday isn't a plan. It's a pacifier for your ambition. Someday kills your dreams. The wealthy understand that wealth is built through daily actions, not future fantasies. And this connects to something even deeper about how these three words form a prison. The poverty loop. These three words aren't random. They form a self-reinforcing cycle, a mental prison that most people never escape. Here's how it works. You say, I can't afford to invest. That's the limitation. Then you say they don't pay me enough. That's the blame. Then you say someday things will be different. That's the delay. And the cycle repeats endlessly while years slip away. You've just absolved yourself of all responsibility. You've explained why you're broke. And you've pushed change into an imaginary future that will never arrive. This is the poverty loop, running on autopilot in your mind. Financial psychologist Dr. Brad Klontz calls these money scripts, unconscious beliefs about money that were programmed in childhood and run automatically. Most people's money scripts were written before age 7, by parents who were also running poverty programs, by a culture that celebrates consumption over investment. You didn't choose this programming, but you're responsible for changing it. And the first step is recognizing the loop when it happens, because awareness breaks the cycle. But awareness alone isn't enough. Rich replacement. Let's reprogram each word, starting with can't. The wealthy don't say I can't afford that. They ask, how can I afford that? How can I afford that? This isn't wordplay. It's a command to your brain. When you ask how, your reticular activating system starts scanning for opportunities instead of shutting down. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, credits this single mental shift with changing his financial destiny. His poor dad would say, I can't afford it. His rich dad would ask, how can I afford it? Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. One phrase closes doors, the other opens them. One tells your brain to stop working, the other puts it to work. Try it right now. Think of something you've been saying you can't afford. Now ask, how can I afford it? Feel the difference. Your mind starts generating options, side hustles, budget cuts, investment strategies. Your brain is a supercomputer that needs the right questions. The question activates intelligence that can't suppresses. But this is just the first reprogramming, owning your fate. Now let's replace they. Instead of they don't pay me enough, say, I haven't made myself valuable enough yet. Ownership. This hurts to hear. I know. But this pain is the price of power. When you blame they, you're powerless. When you take ownership, you can change. The market pays for value. If you're not earning what you want, you either haven't developed enough value, or you haven't learned to communicate your value, or you're in the wrong market for your skills. All of these are things you can control. Every self-made millionaire I've studied has this trait. They take radical ownership. When things go wrong, they don't look for someone to blame. They look in the mirror. The only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling yourself. When you shift from they to I, you reclaim your agency. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for rescue. You become the CEO of your life. This mental shift alone has created more millionaires than any business strategy. But there's one more word to reprogram: killing someday. Finally, let's destroy someday. Replace it with a date, a specific, concrete, committed date. Not someday I'll start investing. I will invest $500 by February 1st. Not someday I'll start that business. I will register my business name by next Friday. A goal without a deadline is just a wish floating in space. This is the difference between a dream and a plan. Dr. Gail Matthews at Dominican University found that people who wrote down their goals with specific deadlines were 42% more likely to achieve them. The wealthy treat their financial goals like appointments. Would you tell your doctor, I'll show up someday? Would you tell your boss, I'll finish that project eventually? Then why do you treat your financial future with such disrespect? Treat wealth like an appointment. When you replace someday with a date, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're telling your subconscious that this matters, that you matter. But knowing the replacements isn't enough. You need to install them. The installation. Here's how to actually reprogram your brain. It's not enough to know the new words. You have to install them. Step 1. Catch yourself. For the next 7 days, carry a small notebook or use your phone. Every time you say can't they or someday, write it down. Just awareness. No judgment. Awareness is the greatest agent for change. You'll be shocked how often these words slip out. Step 2. Reframe in real time. When you catch yourself, immediately restate using the wealthy version. Said can't. Pause. Ask how can I? Said they. Pause. Reframe with I. Said someday. Pause. Pick a specific date. This creates new neural pathways. It's literally rewiring your brain. Neuroplasticity research shows that consistent pattern interruption over 21 to 66 days creates lasting change. Your brain will fight this because poverty programming feels safe. The familiar feels safe, even when it's destroying you. Push through the discomfort. Every correction strengthens the new wiring. But there's a deeper layer to this transformation. Identity shift. The words you use don't just reflect who you are. They create who you become. Identity. Every time you say I can't, you're reinforcing an identity of limitation. Every time you say they, you're reinforcing an identity of victimhood. Every time you say someday, you're reinforcing an identity of procrastination. Your words sculpt your identity. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, discovered that the most powerful behavior change comes from identity change, not goal change. You don't quit smoking by trying to quit. You quit by becoming a non-smoker. You don't get wealthy by trying to get wealthy. You become someone who thinks wealthy. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. The 3 poverty words reinforce a broke identity. The 3 wealthy words build a prosperous identity. Every word you speak is a vote for the person you are becoming. This is why the reprogramming matters so much. You're not just changing words. You're changing who you are at the deepest level. And that brings us to the final and most important piece, your new code. Let me give you the complete wealth code to replace your poverty programming. Instead of I can't afford it, you now ask how can I afford it? Instead of they won't let me, you now say I am responsible for my results. Instead of someday I'll do it, you now commit I will do it by this specific date. 3 phrases to delete, 3 phrases to install. Write these down. Put them on your bathroom mirror. Make them your phone wallpaper. Repeat them until they become automatic. The wealthy aren't speaking a different language. They're running different mental software. And now you have the source code. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Knowing this changes nothing. Doing this changes everything. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You can watch this video and go right back to your poverty words. Most people will, or you can start today. Right now. Start the reprogramming now. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with the words you speak every day. Choose them wisely. You came into this video running poverty software. 3 words destroying your financial future without you even knowing. Can't. They. Someday. Now you see the prison you built with your own words. But awareness without action is just entertainment. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you go back to your old programming? Or will you start the installation of your new wealth code right now? Delete the poverty, install the wealth. The wealthy aren't lucky. They're not smarter. They simply run different mental software. And now that software is available to you. If you made it this far, comment reprogram to prove you're ready to delete your poverty code. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it. If this exposed something in you, subscribe. There's more programming to delete. Remember, you're not a victim of your vocabulary. You're the programmer of your mind.